Let's talk a little bit more about King George II. So he comes to England in 1714 when his father is crowned George I. During the early years, he spends time hanging out with some young people who end up becoming quite important in the Parliament, including Sir Robert Walpole, who was deemed the first Prime Minister of England. Also, during his reign, he spent most of his summers in Hanover, 12 summers to be exact, because he had more control domestically and power-wise over in Hanover than he did here in Britain. And of course, he was married to Caroline of Anspach, very, very beautiful, and also well known for smelling good. She liked to bathe and she liked to use perfume and that sort of thing. She dies in 1737, and he's absolutely, grieving, and he's crying at her bedside. And she says, "Oh, my darling, you should remarry." And he says, "No, I shall have mistresses." So apparently he'd had mistresses and she was well aware of them. Anyway, in 1743, in the War of Austrian Succession, he is the last British monarch to lead troops into battle. And then in the 1740s, his troops defeat the Jacobite Rebellion, which is the Scottish claim to the throne of England. In 1757, he donates books to the Royal Library, which is part of the British Museum, which then, of course, starts the British Library collection. And it is in 1760 that he dies. Now, he's 76 years old. He gets up at 6 a.m. He goes and has a cup of hot chocolate, and then he goes and sits on his toilet. He goes to the loo, and then he gets up, and all of a sudden, from the other room, his valet hears a thud, and comes in and sees the king on the floor, and he has died from a heart attack. He is the very last king to be buried in Westminster Abbey.